Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, November 26th, 2024. I appreciate everybody making time on relatively short notice to attend this special meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Chittenden Solid Waste District. It's a busy week, and it was, again, relatively short notice, so thank you very much for making the time for what we anticipate to be a not very long meeting. We do have a quorum present, so I'll begin with the meeting with reviewing the agenda, which is contained in the packet. Are there any requests for additions or changes to the agenda? Hearing none, we will proceed to follow the agenda as presented in the packet. Second item on the agenda is the public comment period. Are there any members of the public present via Zoom, in person, or via telephone who wish to address the Board of Commissioners?
We do not have any members of the public attending.
Thank you. Then I will go ahead and close the public comment period. We'll move on to item number 3, which is the fiscal year 26 preliminary budget. There's board action requested, but first I'll turn it over to Sarah to frame the issue for us, and then we'll proceed from there.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you. So per charter, the district is required to propose a budget for the following fiscal year, not later than December 1 of the current fiscal year. This rationale is so that we can notify our member cities and towns ahead of their budget process in the event that the district is going to charge any kind of a community assessment, municipal assessment for the following fiscal year. CSWD is not proposing any municipal assessments for fiscal year 2026. So going right down to the proposed budget, we are forecasting total income in the amount of just over $16 million, $16,442,000. After the cost of goods sold, which are bins, containers, anything to do with creating a product that we sell, like our paint products and our organics. Removing those costs, it brings it down to $16.2 million. We are anticipating expenses to the amount of $16.5 million, and that would leave us with a shortfall of just over $300,000. I will point out that the current year's budget also projected a shortfall of just under $300,000. So far to date, year to date, our revenues are slightly exceeding our expenses, so we are not anticipating needing to draw from reserves to satisfy that shortfall. And for the fiscal 26 forecast, because we're at about the same projection, we do have plenty of time as before we get the actual draft budget to the Finance Committee as staff and management to be able to take a look at our expenses and fine-tune them to try to bring that down to zero without the need for potential transfer out of the reserves. I would welcome any questions on what we have here. So again, this is not the final budget by any means. So the Finance Committee will be taking up the draft budget in February. They look at every single line item contained in the budget. So they go through with a truly fine-tooth comb. Then we will revise based on input from the Finance Committee, and the intent is to bring the proposed fiscal 26 budget to the board for your approval in March and not later than April. And at that point, then the budget is authorized by you all to go out to our member cities and towns, and each legislative body, so a select board or city council of that member city or town, votes on that budget. And then when we have 10 yeses, the budget is formally adopted for the next fiscal year. Sorry. Now questions.
Thank you, Sarah. Just one point of clarification for the benefit of the public who might be viewing this later on or reading the minutes. The fiscal year 26 runs from July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Is that correct?
Correct. That's correct.
Are there any preliminary questions by any commissioners? As Sarah had pointed out, there will be plenty of time to dive into the budget, and we are not approving a budget tonight. The action requested is only to accept the budget as required. At this point, happy to have the secretary read into the record a motion, a proposed motion.
Be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners acknowledges the receipt of a proposed fiscal year 2026 budget to be further developed through the normal budget process.
So moved, Essex.
Second, Westgard.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that the Board of Commissioners acknowledges receipt of the proposed FY26 budget. Is there any discussion or questions on either the process or the substance of the proposed budget?
This is Barb Winters. I just wanted to say thanks to the Finance Committee for all the work. That's a lot of work. Thanks.
It's also a lot of work for staff, and this is always it's a good opportunity for one of the things I always point out. All meetings are open to all commissioners. If you would like to participate, even in the Finance Committee process, even if you're not a member of the Finance Committee, you're more than welcome. And that schedule will be made well known in advance. It is anticipated there will be a full day review, I believe, sometime in February, perhaps in March. We did that last year. It might very well happen again. That's probably the one most challenging commitment to being on the Finance Committee, is carving out that time. But again,
You get a lot more money than we do, though.
other questions or comments? I'm hearing none. I think then we are ready to vote on the proposed motion, a resolution to acknowledge receipt of the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget to be further developed through the normal budget process. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? The motion carries, and the Board of Commissioners acknowledges receipt of the proposed FY26 budget. We're ready now to move on to the final item on the agenda, which is other business. Is there any other business to bring before the Board of Commissioners tonight? Hearing none, I'll welcome a motion to adjourn.
We adjourn, Essex.
Second, Sherlock.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? We are now adjourned. Again, thank you all very much for making the time to be with us tonight, and hope you all have a very pleasant and warm and satisfying Thanksgiving.